Welcome at Pizza and More. Maybe some of you don't like always these airy and thick crusts. My name is Jürgen and we make today a pizza in a Roman style. So the Roman style pizza has a thin crust, a very crispy crust, and it's totally different than the normal Neapolitan pizza we normally make here on the channel. So the Roman pizza is a bit different than the Neapolitan. Not only the location where it comes from Rome or from Naples, no. Also the way how we make it is different. There is one ingredient more, there is olive oil in a Roman style pizza, but we have less water. So today we make our dough with only 58% hydration. You might think, well, this is very low compared to a Neapolitan, and that's correct, it's very low. However, in a Roman style pizza we don't need more water, so 58% hydration. The other thing which is different is how we stretch our dough. We use a roller pin and not only our hands, because we do not want all the air in our crust. That's the reason why we will use then, when we stretch the pizza, a roller pin. The next difference is we have a longer baking time. As you know, the Neapolitan pizza takes only 60 to 90 seconds. The Roman style pizza will take around 5 minutes or so, 4 to 5 minutes, depends then on the temperature in the oven. The temperature of the oven is the next difference. As you know, the Neapolitan pizza needs temperatures between 400, 450, maybe 500 degrees Celsius. The Roman style pizza has only 300 to 350 degrees. So the temperature in the oven is lower, therefore the baking time is also longer. And now I think some words to my flour I use, because we make this dough now with a leavening time of 48 hours. Therefore we need a strong flour. Otherwise the gluten structure might break if we have a too weak flour. So I have here the flour from the type 00 with 14% of protein and a W value of 320 to 340. This is required that our gluten structure stays over the long time of the fermentation. And here are now the ingredients. We have here 500 grams of, as I said, 00 flour with 14% protein and a W value of 320 to 340. By the way, the whole recipe is in the video description. The next we have here is our water. It's 290 grams, as I said, which leads to a hydration of 58%. We have here 15 grams of olive oil. We have 0.4 grams of dry yeast. If you want to use fresh yeast, you can use 1.2 grams. And I have here 15 grams of fine sea salt. But the way how we make our dough is not too far different from a Neapolitan pizza. The first we add into the bowl is our water. As next we add our flour. And then we add directly the yeast. And then we start the mixing time, which will take around 2 minutes. And after this first mixing time of 2 minutes, we add our salt. And then we continue mixing for around 10 minutes, and in 10 minutes we add our olive oil. And after the first 10 minutes, we add the olive oil, and then we continue kneading for in total around 20 minutes, so 10 additional minutes until the window test works. When we make a dough with such a low hydration, we have always to be a bit careful with the temperature of the dough, because due to the low hydration, the power which comes into the dough is higher, and therefore the temperature raises a bit quicker. But temperature at around 25 to 27 degrees are fully okay. Some voices may say 24 degrees only, but I had the experience 25 to 27 degrees is fully absolutely okay. My dough had now a total kneading time of around 25 minutes. This depends always on the kind of flour you use, on the temperature in the room, on the mixer you have, and so on. 20 minutes is around a time which might be okay, but you have to knead, or I knead always until I hear these blob noises from the dough, and then I make a window test, and if this window test works, then the dough is ready kneaded. For the window test, it's the easiest to cover your hands with water or olive oil or even flour. I have actually nothing, because with a hydration of only 58% as we have now, the dough is not too sticky and it works so also good. Then we take out some dough of the bowl, and then we roll a ball, and then we stretch it, and you can see I'm able to stretch it already, which means the gluten structure is built, and I take now the dough out of my bowl onto the counter. When then the dough is outside on the counter, we do several times stretch and fold to build a bit more a gluten structure. Therefore we stretch here the dough, we fold it over, we take the dough again away from the counter, we stretch it and we fold it. And we do this 4 or 5 times, and then you see already here the surface of the dough is already nice and strong. And then we can turn the dough ball several times and we pull it. We don't roll it, because then you see we have here this not that nice side on top, but we want to have that strong surface always on top. Therefore we pull it. The dough sticks here a bit onto the counter, and therefore the surface of the dough gets stretched. If the dough sticks too heavy to your fingers, which might be possible, it depends always on the kind of flour you use or on the quality of the flour, then you can use some olive oil in your hands, and then the dough stops sticking. If you have a nice shaped dough ball, take a box or a bowl or whatever, place the dough inside and close the lid. When the dough is now in the box and the lid is closed, we let the dough raise now for around 2 hours at room temperature, and then we put the dough into the fridge. My fridge has 4 degrees, and then we put the dough into the fridge for additional 22 or 24 hours, and then we make our dough balls. Now around about 24 hours later, the dough is ready to make our pizza balls. For me it was really around 24 hours. If it is only 12 hours, if it's 18 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, 36 hours, it really doesn't matter. You don't need to look on your watch and say, oh, now 24 hours later I have to create my pizza balls. No. You can do it however it fits to your time plan. You can make your pizza balls whenever you want within around that time scale. The only thing which is important to make the pizza balls around 8 hours before baking, so that these pizza balls have enough time to get relaxed. It's not necessary to have lots of air in our pizza balls, because we will use the roller pin to prepare our pie, and therefore it's not necessary to have lots of air in our dough. But the dough looks pretty good, and now we create or we make our pizza balls. Here is now my dough on my counter. If you follow my videos, then you know I use for creating the pizza balls always a kitchen scale, because I want to have that each of those dough balls has exactly, or not exactly, but nearly the same weight. You know, for our pizza boys, when we make a Neapolitan pizza, the Neapolitan always is a bit heavier. We have then around 280, 290 grams or so. For our Roman pizza, it's necessary to have a lighter, not that heavy dough ball. We will have around 270 to 280 grams, because our pizza will be flatter, not with that thick crust, and therefore we don't need that heavy dough balls. However, our pizza will have at the end a diameter of around 32 to 33 centimeters. My dough balls have now a size, a weight of 270 grams each. I use directly the skin which was on top from the leavening. I take this directly at the, I leave this at the top, because this helps us directly to create our nice structure. And there are several ways available how to make your dough balls. Please have a look on my other videos, then I don't have to explain everything 100 times and it's not boring for you. Maybe you know it already. I make now only this way. I take the dough and I stretch it over. Here you can see there is lots of air. We can open these air bubbles and then we can continue. And I take, as I said, always the dough and I push it underneath, so that we have here a nice and strong surface of our dough. And then when the surface is nice and strong, we close the bottom. We press here a bit the dough together. And then we take our dough ball into the dough ball box. And exactly this is what we do now with all the three. And here are all three dough balls in the box. And very important, as you may know, take the lid and close the box and protect so our dough balls from drying out. And now we let it rest for additional 18 to 20 hours. I take them directly back into the fridge, and what I want to say, I took them out of the fridge earlier. I took them out of the fridge and then I prepared directly now with you together the dough balls. So there was no time in between to bring the dough up to room temperature, so it was directly out of the fridge. And now I place them directly back into the fridge and I will remove them. It depends always on the room temperature, what we will have. We had today, unfortunately, a very huge temperature drop. It's very cold. Inside of the rooms it's a bit warmer, but outside it's very cold. I think the difference from yesterday to today was over 15 degrees. And the same will be tomorrow as well. It will be cold, so the rooms also get colder. And therefore I think I will remove the dough out of the fridge around 4 hours before baking. If you have a room temperature which is around 24-25 degrees, 1 to 2 hours are absolutely enough. It's not necessary to have again this lots of air, as I said already, in our dough balls, because as we use the roller pin, we will remove all the air out of our dough, so it doesn't matter. One word to the cheese. If you are using mozzarella, which is in this salty water, then please remove the water, take the mozzarella out of that salty water, cut it into sticks, place it on a sieve or in a sieve and put it back into the fridge and let it drain so that all this liquid, all this water which is inside of the mozzarella can drain out, and this protects our pizza then from getting too soggy and too wet. I took my dough out 4 hours ago And now my dough balls are ready to prepare the pizza. The leavening time from creating the dough balls until now was not exactly 24 hours. It was only 22, 23 hours or something about this. But it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure the taste is exactly the same. And all my ingredients are already prepared. I have here fresh basil. I have here my mozzarella fior di latte. I have here my tomato sauce, San Marzano tomatoes. I use here my San Marzano tomatoes out of the can. I smash them or I tear them by hand. Then I add only 4 grams of fine sea salt. I mix this up and that's done. You also could, if you want, you can add some olive oil, so around about 5 grams, some basil leaves, tear them and put them into the pizza sauce, mix it up and use this, or create which pizza sauce ever you want. It's really up to you. This one I make is always the Neapolitan pizza sauce, the typical Neapolitan pizza sauce. If you want to know more about tomatoes and the tomato sauce, in the video description I link the video what I already have prepared around the tomatoes. And now I would say we start with the pizza. The way how we take the dough balls out of the box is exactly the same like from a Neapolitan. If you want to know everything how to take the dough balls out without stressing them out of the box, I made a video about this and I will link this video also in the video description. But in a short way, I use here semula. I put semula on top of the dough ball which I want to take out. I put semula around the dough ball and everywhere where the dough ball is attached to any other dough ball or to the side of the box. And then I release the dough ball and then I go with the spatula under. I lift it out and then I put it directly into the semolina. Now it's important to close the lid because otherwise the remaining dough balls would also dry out. And then we do it exactly the same like we do it with a Neapolitan pizza. We flip this pizza several times around in the semolina and then we take it out. We look that we have a round shape. Now it's not that important that we take care on the crust because we press all the air out. We start directly with pressing the dough. We can also press on the crust, it doesn't matter. Then we flip it around, we press as well here. And if we have thick air bubbles already, we can directly open them. And then we can use our roller pin and roll. And then we continue with the tomato sauce. Also from now on we have to be here a bit quick. Don't take too long time because also here the tomato sauce will weaken up our dough and also this dough might stick at some point to the counter. As next I have here fresh grated Parmesan cheese. I add here a little bit. Then as next fresh basil. And then we add some mozzarella cheese. And some olive oil. And it's time for the oven. Therefore we take our peel, put some semolina onto the peel, lift the dough and push the peel under. And also here, if the pizza has not its correct size, we can also stretch now the pizza to its final size. And then the pizza is ready for the oven. And as already mentioned, the oven is preheated to 350 degrees. Yeah, and here is now our nice Roman style margherita. And now we add some fresh basil and our pizza is ready. Yeah, this pizza is around the crust really crispy, far more crispy than a Neapolitan pizza, but this is clear and this is exactly what we expected. Also the baking time was far longer. And now I taste a piece and you can see compared to a Neapolitan pizza, it's possible that we have this piece of pizza in the hand. Otherwise with a Neapolitan this is not possible. Now I taste it. The pizza tastes fantastic. As always, as normally. And you can hear the bottom of the pizza is really well done. It's crispy. And now I taste the crust. This crust has lots of aroma, which is clear. We have not that much dough. It's more crispy. It's a bit harder, but not hard from hard or chewy. It's really crispy, it's fantastic, and therefore the taste is great. So this Roman style pizza is absolutely fantastic and the perfect way for everyone who doesn't want this thick or big crust or this many dough around the crust, which is also possible. So try and make it. If you like my videos, then I would be happy if you would subscribe my channel, and then we see us in the next video. Ciao!